story be?
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Okay.
You never stayed there.
Yeah, we didn't, as it turns out, we didn't stay there. They offered that, but we stayed in the hotel, and they picked us up and took us around, particularly when it appeared that we were interested in coming to town. So the first time we were here, I think, is when we first met them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was under a lot of pressure during that meeting from the Board of Health because within a day or two, the Board of Health decided they wanted me to officially apply. And they pushed me hard.
Paul was a tall, kind of autocratic person, and very nice, very pleasant, but knew what he wanted and knew that Akron was the place we should be. Sue, both of them are very talkative, and we found we didn't have to say much. They took over.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sue is one of those folks who's connected everywhere. She sort of knows everybody.
Could we do an interview with her?
Yeah, you might. She's 90 now.
That's okay. I like this story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's not the best person to interview because she goes off on tangents.
They all go off on tangents.
Yeah, well, certainly you're welcome to interview her, but you have to keep in mind that it's not an easy interview.
Well, if it doesn't work out, we won't use it, but I'll bet she's got some stories that are pretty good. Now, what kind of, so let's get her on the list. What kind of pressure were they putting on you, Bill?
Well, I met with them several times, of course, during that first visit, and we were sort of interested, and then went back to Hazard after we'd sort of been introduced. And then they asked me to come back. And I came back alone. We had driven up together the first time, and I came back alone. And that's when they put the hammer down. They said, "We really want you. We want you to come to Akron. We want a decision now." And I said, Ardith and I had obviously talked about this. We thought this looked pretty good. This was a big step for us. We were interested in taking our time and thinking about it some more, but the board didn't want any of that. The Health Commission wanted a decision. And they even said, well, we can go find somebody else if we have to, but we'd like you. Essentially trying to use a threat of pulling it off, of maybe just backing out of this if I didn't say yes. And I was in a motel room in Lexington, I think. I'd flown back to Lexington. It was in the night. I was staying overnight and then going back to Hazard in the morning. It was about an hour and a half to 2 hour drive. And I got called in the motel by the president of the Health Commission, pushing me for an answer, and he wanted it right then. I put him off a little bit and said, I really have to speak with my wife. I said, we're clearly interested, but I won't give you a yes for sure until we've had a chance to talk. He didn't like that, still pushed me, but I insisted that I would do that. Well, the next day, I drove home and we talked about it, and I called him back and said yes.
Who else was on the potential city to go to list?
There wasn't anyone else at that point for me.
So you were fresh to the search.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I was fresh to the search.
Hold on, I'm going to reset here.
Mm-hmm.
Recording stopped.